I've read through the article. I've looked at some of the evidence you have there. Pretty compelling stuff you have here, Jim. Lay it out for us.
Right. So this was our latest report, Steve. And as you know, for the past couple of years, we're with Donald Trump on this. We've provided evidence. I know you're in Michigan. It was the Gateway Pundit that found we actually sequestered the footage from the TCF Center after the election, where we found that they were bringing in late night ballots, van loads on election night when Joe Biden was down. Suddenly he's up in his numbers. It was the Gateway Pundit that found the Dropbox footage in Detroit. We were the only ones who released that. Of course, we found numerous people. I retweeted that today, of people dumping, stacks of ballots into these drop boxes. And then today and yesterday, what we've worked on is this amazing report, Steve, that happened. This actually happened in October of 2020, before the election. And there was an individual who walked into the city clerk's office in Muskegon, over on the west side of the state of Michigan, and dropped off 8,000 to 10,000 registrations for the election. This was right close to the deadline. So this woman brought them in, and the clerk there noticed that these registrations had the same handwriting on them, the same signatures, the same style of signature. They found that.
Right. She threw the red flag, and she said, you know what? Something's wrong here. The addresses don't make sense. They're too close. One of them turned out to be the high school, one of the addresses I know that I saw in your report. And she said, this isn't right. She called the police. So an investigation started with the Muskegon Police Department. It then led to the Michigan State Police. But then it went to the FBI, Jim, and it died a silent death, didn't it?
Yeah. So before the election, the last we heard of it was it went to the FBI. And like several investigations, Steve, we're seeing the same outcome. It goes to the FBI. We never hear from it again. The same thing happened to the Hunter laptop. The same thing happened in several other instances that we've reported at Gateway Pundit. But so we have no idea where this is. If actually in the police report that we used for our reporting on this, it says that the investigation is still open. That was in 2022. Well, we know, Steve, nothing's been done. We know, and what's amazing for your audience is when they raided one of these offices where this woman worked, who dropped off all these registrations, they found semi-automatic guns, they found silencers for those guns, they found burner phones, they found T-shirts for another leftist group.
Well, to be clear, Jim, and I want to point this out for people that, for Michigan geography, where she was is on the west side of the state. These two offices that were raided, one was in Auburn Hills, one nearby there, which is in southeast Michigan, which is metropolitan Detroit. And that's where they found all these things, burner phones and guns and prepaid cards and all sorts of things. It makes sense. Now, in fairness, they called the ATF, the guns were legal, but still it makes you go, what's really going on here?
Right, absolutely. I mean, would you think they needed guns? Maybe. Silencers? Why would they need silencers for their guns?
Weird.
And we also reported they found different types of prepaid cash cards. So this is what they were handing out to their employees. So it's a very fishy story. Today we reported that this group, we identified them as GBI Strategies. That's in this report. They have offices throughout Michigan and actually in 20 different states. The director of this group, his name is Gary Bell. We reported today. He's admitted in his bio that he has offices and organizations in 20 states and that he's working with 70 different organizations.